Hello, guys. What's up? It's the one and only African superstar. Yes, yes, yes. I'm back again. Gina Ifoe in the building, coming to you live from Accra, Ghana, African Superstar Studios. You guys see the awards and accolades behind me. Absolutely. First and foremost, I want to let you guys know, unfortunately, we did not win our nomination in Amsterdam. Some of you guys did submit votes. Special shout outs to Matrol and Emission. Special shout outs to Ajike. Special shout outs to those of you guys that have been continual supporters. However, we didn't get enough support to win. I believe the winner had over 5,000 votes. And so we finished with a little under 2,000. And so unfortunately, we did not win. But I would say, guys, next time we get a nomination, if you want us to win, if you guys want us to compound on the international awards, then your support is needed. With that being said, I want to also make you aware of my latest release, my EP, Iconic, which we dropped over the summer. It's available at bandcamp.com. I am streaming 4 of the tracks on iTunes, Amazon, Tidal, Boomplay, wherever you stream music. So please make sure you support, check me out. No way you can say you're an African Superstar fan and you don't know any of my songs or any of my music. I also have about 8 music videos here on the channel. So please do check them out if you are unfamiliar with me. Big shout out to the African Superstar family. Last but not least, we do have an upcoming tour. October 2024 is just in a couple months away. It's still available for you to book. If you're interested, please head over to www.tayeahuru.com, and it's right on the homepage. So you can go on there and get information, booking, and itinerary. What's up, family? Did you miss the one and only African Superstar? Hello. Did you guys miss me? It has been a while. Yes. Yes, it has been. Coming back to Ghana, I've just been getting back into the groove. The weather here has been surprisingly very overcast. We're coming out of the rainy season, so that kind of weather just makes me want to stay indoors, sleep, not do much. Just been trying to sort out a few things. Obviously, when you travel for a few months, it leaves you to catch up on some things when you get back. So that is what I have been doing. Also, I had a radio interview last weekend with Guide Radio to introduce one of my new songs, Come Closer, which is a banger. Come Closer is one of the songs that is currently streaming, so check it out. If you have not heard Come Closer, you're not going to want to miss it. It's one of my more interesting tracks, I'd say. So yes, indeed. What's up, family? When you come in the room, you should know what to do by now. Be on code. Make sure you like the stream. Make sure you leave me something in the chat. Greet me. Today, I want to talk about, do you have all of your eggs in the Western basket? That's what I want to ask you guys today. Because it has occurred to me that many Westerners, many people raised in America, many people raised in Canada or UK, across Europe, they have never really entertained the concept of having a backup plan, having investments, having alternate residence, having multiple citizenships, or any of that stuff. And I think that in our day and age, it's very, very, very important to have options. We see what is happening globally. There's a lot of unrest. There's a lot of conflicts, which the West is always involved in. Hello. And just instability. There's a lot of inflation happening, a lot of fluctuation happening. And it's nice to have options. It's nice to have diversity in your portfolio, basically, because if you have all your eggs in one basket, hello, what happens if you have all your eggs in one basket? Anybody in the chat room want to take a gander? What happens when you have all your eggs in one basket? Let me hear from the family today. We just have a few of you so far. Yes, guys, it's me. Are you happy to see me? Do I look good? Yeah, I know. Shout out to Serum on the hair. Yes, she did me a nice, design ponytail. Yes, looks good. Yes. What's up? What happens when you have all your eggs in one basket? Okay, if we're talking about literally, if you have a package of eggs and they're all in one basket and something happens to that basket, you drop the basket, it gets run over, somebody knocks into it, something falls on top of it. If all your eggs are in that basket, all of them are going to get smashed. The theoretical meaning, is that, do you have all your money tied up in the West? Do you have all your living arrangements in the West? Do you only have document citizenship residency in one place? COVID should have taught us this. It certainly did teach me about not having options. I'm so grateful that I have my African option. I'm so happy that I have my UK option. I live, literally I can go and live in 3 different countries currently, live, work, whatever, because I have put those legworks in, and I've put that, that establishment in, the infrastructure in. I'm matriculated in the UK. I'm matriculated, obviously, in America where I grew up. I'm matriculated here in Ghana. And I frequently travel to all those locations. So I'm abreast of, the demographics, how to navigate, what's needed, and this and that. Although a lot changes the longer you're away. I would say for those of you that have migrated, and you're African migrants and you're living in Europe and you're living in Canada or Australia, and you have not, been home. I mean, literally, when I came back to Ghana, I've been gone for about close to 3.5 months. I traveled over the summer. I was in the US. I did other travels as well. But I mean, I came back to Ghana and there was already significant changes. There were roads that had been done. One of my favorite restaurants had shut down. There were all type of changes. People that I knew in my neighborhood, somebody passed away. It was just like, damn, I've only been gone for a few months. For those of you guys that have ultimate plans of maybe retiring back home and you don't regularly come here, it's going to be a shock to you when you get back, and you will feel like a foreigner in this location if you do not have a routine of keeping yourself integrated. And I know it's a tremendous burden, really. The person who's migrating, the foreigner, the immigrant, the expat, whatever you want to call it, it's a tremendous burden because you're managing several different lifestyles in different countries and different, requirements and all that stuff versus the person who's just in one location, but like I said, having all your eggs in one basket is a bad deal, man. I can vividly remember, big shout out to the family, guys. If you're here, please make your presence known. I will be coming through the chat room. I see a few of you here. So pause, stop, hit the likes. If you're happy to see me, if you're happy to see me, if you love my music, if you love my channel, if you think I look good, hello, hit the likes. Yes, you can send some support, obviously, send your comments and I'll get to you. I can remember, I mean, it dawned on me that, wow, it's literally been 4 years ago, 2020, the COVID year. I can remember being stuck in the UK because that's where I was at the time and feeling utterly trapped. Utterly trapped. At that point, international borders were closed. I couldn't go to the US. I couldn't get to Africa. I couldn't leave the UK, essentially, because any other place that I needed to go, I would have needed visas for certain things, and they were not taking people who were not citizens. The embassies were shut. So it dawned on me, wow, I literally, in a worst case scenario, I'm stuck here in England. Now let's say they close those borders for 10 years. Now, mind you, people in the UK were leaving and coming to Ghana. They were going to various places if they had their passports organized, they could go. I remember there was a chartered flight from the UK to Ghana at that time. But obviously, you wouldn't need to be a Ghanaian citizen or have a residency permit or have a visa, a valid visa to enter the country at that time. We look at the financial situation that's happening. I know that according to the marketing and according to the perception, the West is always a safe bet. Last night, I watched this program on Bernie Madoff. If you guys have heard of Bernie Madoff, let me see a number one. What's up, big fam? Shout out. Hello. Is the African Superstar family in the building? Where are you guys at? Hello. 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 If you've heard of Bernie Madoff, let me see a number one. Okay, big shout out. Thank you, Sweet Berry. I see you there, sweetheart. I'm going to start shout outs. Appreciate you. Bernie Madoff was a Ponzi schemer, okay, Wall Street guy, white collar criminal who swindled literally billions of dollars from investors, okay? And Bernie, had been in business for decades, all right? Because, basically, let's call it what it is. He had white privilege, okay? Which means he was getting away with murder because several people had actually reported his business, that it wasn't making sense. Other bankers, other Wall Street guys, and they refused to investigate him. He was kind of in bed with the FCAA, which is the regulatory board for the financial, sector, and they refused to look into him. But nonetheless, he operated for decades and he swindled billions. On this special that I watched last night, I think it was 60 Minutes. People, they interviewed some of the people that had become victims of Bernie Madoff. They, people that had basically, what did they do? They put all their eggs into one basket. They invested all their retirement. They put all their, millions or thousands with Bernie Madoff. And when the pyramid scheme went down, when the Ponzi scheme went down, guess what? They lost everything. They lost everything. We, especially as members of the diaspora, at this stage of the game that we know we have international options, it's so unwise for us to put all of our eggs in the Western basket because the West is so racist and crazy and unstable. Let's talk about those race riots that just happened. I don't know if it's still ongoing in the UK, the unrest or whatever happened. Listen. Just imagine all your eggs is in the UK basket. And here comes these racist people. They burn up your house. They burn up your car. Okay? They induce fear because you're scared to leave your house. You're scared to go to work. You're scared that you might be attacked or whatever, or your family might be attacked. How nice would it be if you could say, you know what? This has shown me the nature of my environment. It's time to go. I have a very good friend of mine that lives in the UK, and I spoke to him probably a couple weeks ago. And this person, he's kind of been a little on the uncertain side about coming back to Ghana. The fluctuation of currency and this and that and the other, and politics and blah, 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 blah. I tell you what, those race riots, that was an eye-opening experience. He told me when he saw me, he said, you know what? I realized that was my wake-up call. That was my wake-up call, because people will, I don't know how you guys do it. I don't know how you guys negotiate being in these environments with these hostile, violent, unpredictable people. But, for him, it kind of resonated that, yeah, I'm not in a safe place. Hello. I'm not in a calm place. That display of rage and hatred and violence, that is very It's not even that deeply under the surface, guys. It's not even that deeply. Okay. It's literally like, I don't know if you guys ever had a waterbed. I never had a waterbed, but my best friend in high school had a waterbed. And not high school, but like elementary school. She had a waterbed. And, you know, with waterbeds, you know, it has kind of a decent, I wouldn't say a super thick, but it has a thin layer of rubber or polyurethane or whatever, however they make it. And you can literally fill the water. You know, it's not that far under the surface. These anti-Black, racist, violent, unjust, perverted, dangerous sentiments, guys, I'm talking about, it's like a millimeter under the surface. Anything can set these people off. And if it does, what will you do? Hello? What will you do? You know, I looked at that program about Bernie Madoff, and I thought to myself, you know what? If some of these investors would have actually invested a little bit with this firm, a little bit with this firm, put some in mutual funds, put some in stocks and bonds, then if one of those things failed, like Bernie Madoff, they would have lost their entire investment. The fact of the matter is, it's now 2024. Okay. The stability that has been associated with the West is over. It's over. It's done. Okay. It's getting increasingly more violent. Hello. Let's talk about the drug epidemic. Hello. If you guys have seen any drug paraphernalia, drug related incidents or anything in your environment, let me see a number 2, because I saw some when I was in Columbus. I saw some when I was in Philly. I saw what they call our zombies. Okay. These people that are kind of in a state. Okay. They might just be standing on the corner. They might be asleep on their feet. They can be in awkward positions and they're just kind of like suspended. I saw it in Columbus and I was shocked because I remember growing up as a teenager. I literally was so sheltered and ignorant to, for instance, like the drug world and addicts and all of that kind of stuff growing up. I literally never saw any of that stuff. No crack houses or paraphernalia or anything. I had no idea what that was about. When I was in Columbus, I saw several people zoned out in different parts of town. And I was shocked. When I went to Philly just for the weekend, I saw several people zoned out under a bridge when I passed by, you know, going to my hotel. So you have the out of control gun violence, you know, you have the insane racial construct. Hello. You have you have the cost of living. You guys, let me also talk about, you know, I talk about the chemically modified foods. It's a silent killer. It's like a poison. You know, it's something that you can try your best to avert it, and you can try your very best to, you know, try to mitigate it. However, you can't sit in water and not be wet. A lot of these things are affecting you on a day-to-day basis and you don't even know it. And when the fallout comes, you're going to be like, wow, I can't believe this happened or whatever. And you don't realize that day to day, these things are affecting you. You know, that's why I come here on a regular basis. Well, I know it hasn't been that regular, but that's why I come here over the years to try to encourage those of you that are potentially interested, those of you guys that hear my message, not those of you that don't agree, or, you know, want to be an antagonist, want to be like coming here and playing the devil's advocate. What an idiot to come to somebody's channel called The African Superstar and expect anything else. But I know y'all do that. I know some people do that. But I come here just to let you know about the options, because I know when I was growing up in America as a young adult, a young professional, very unhappy, very unfulfilled, you know, feeling hopeless, feeling like I could not impact a lot of these things, I didn't know about the options. You know, nobody ever came to me and told me about the options. What I know today as an adult woman is what I actually discovered through travels, through my own experiences, through research, and so on and so forth, you know. And I would just say to our people, it's very wise for you to diversify your portfolio, whatever that means. You know, perhaps it's not Ghana for you. I always tell you guys, travel and experience different places. For you, you might like the Philippine vibe. You know what I'm saying? You might like the Colombian vibe. I mean, although you guys got to be careful in South America. Hello. But if you want to do the Latin vibe, do that, whatever, do whatever. But all I'm saying, it's unwise to have all your eggs in the Western basket, period. Don't find out the hard way, okay? Use this thing here and be proactive. Start seeing what's going on around you, okay? Start seeing what's happening to other people that you know. Did you guys hear about that lady who just died at her job and she was left there for 4 days? Her body rotting in her cubicle? It speaks to so many things, okay? It speaks to the lack of community. Hello? It speaks to the incompetence of her job, of the facility where she works, because certainly in, I believe it's Wells Fargo, there should be security. There should be people, you know, going through the floors, making sure, you know. It speaks to a lack of community. Nobody from her neighborhood noticed her car wasn't there, her kids, her cousin, her brother. You know, nobody realized that, oh, I have not talked to this person today, or I haven't seen them on Facebook for 3-4 days or 2 days or whatever it was. Guys, seriously, you know, you are not regarded in these places. You are not valued in these places. You can have a better sense of quality of life in other places. I'm just being honest, you know, and don't be the one who is caught out there. Like I said, we had the dry run. COVID should have taught you a lot of stuff. Okay, COVID should have made a lot of things resonate to you. If you're intellectual, you realize, oh my gosh, you know, here came this emergency, or this whatever global crisis, whatever. I was not prepared. I was not ready. I didn't have a backup plan. I didn't have an evacuation plan. I had all my eggs in the basket, one basket. You know, there's a saying, you know, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Because if you learn from the first experience, okay, let me tell you something. That whole lockdown thing they did, I doubt that's going to be the first and only time, guys, that we, you know, that was a dry run. What that was grooming us, getting us ready for whenever they feel like shutting international borders, when they stop, you know, when they make travel inaccessible or whatever. That's all that was doing. You know, in the UK, some of my viewers are from the UK. You know, they had us queuing up like we were, like it was war or something, outside of the Tesco, outside of the Aldi. You know, you got to stay in your little box. One person at a time can be in this aisle. I mean, it was like they were rationing food. You know, I literally felt like, oh my God, I'm like in World War II or something. And again, if you have all your eggs in one basket, and that place gets affected. You know, I know America thinks they're big and bad. I know the UK thinks they're big and bad. They think they can't be touched. I mean, England should know, because England was like destroyed during the World Wars. Okay. I've seen pictures. We all know about the Windrush, how they had to recruit people to help them rebuild their country because it was completely destroyed. Okay. Americans have had the benefit of not having direct warfare on their mainland, but you know, they were attacked at Pearl Harbor. But the fact of the matter is, the Western nations stay involved in other people's conflicts, okay, which can make them complicit, which can make them an accessory. We, the individual, don't believe in what they're doing in these foreign lands. We say, hey, let them be. Stop intervening. Why are you there? Why is our military there? Why are you wasting billions of dollars while Americans can use this money some other way? But guess what? The leaders and the government and the military, they're doing otherwise. This makes us a target as Americans or as British. When we travel, you know, they hear our accent, they see our passport. Sometimes what goes on politically in our nation is a representative of us in the international community. Okay. I can only say what I can say, but I just brought this message to remind you to consider your options. Okay. Gone are the days where we can say we don't know. You know, that if we're born and raised in America, it's the end all be all. We cannot in honesty say that anymore, because we're seeing people living in other locations and having success and having a better quality of life. We're seeing people with their health problems being reversed, you know, people with their depression subsiding, you know, all kind of things, you know, being able to progress in various areas of their life because they've changed environment, you know, and the things in their new environment is more supportive, or they're able to actually matriculate. All right. Don't have all your eggs in one basket. Big shout outs, guys. What's up? Okay, I'm going to start shout outs now. Shout outs, first of all, to my tour partner, Mr. Taye Uhuru. We are hosting a tour here in Ghana. If you guys are still interested in visiting, I know some of you guys claim that you want to visit here in Ghana. Well, no better way to do it than with someone trusted like myself and Mr. Taye Uhuru. We have an upcoming tour 21st through the 27th in October here. So if you're interested, please go by the website. Booking and full itinerary is there. If you have any other questions, don't hesitate to reach out to either him or I. My email is africansuperstar@gmail.com. So yes, please, we want to see some of you guys joining us. What's up? Sweetberry was the first one in the room. Oh yeah. Big shout outs. What's up, Anas Graham? I see you. Thank you so much for the compliments. Very appreciated. GBL says, I'm afraid, yes, for a lot of West Africans, irrespective of where they reside, their mindset is westernized. It's unfortunate, you know, because some people are not, you know, I mean, a lot of people that move abroad, they're completely oblivious to what they're getting into in these Western nations. I was having a conversation with my neighbor today about debt and credit and those kind of things, which, you know, here in Ghana, people have very little debt because they own their property. They own their cars. They own their phones. You know, they have to pay cash to have things, or they just don't have it. And, you know, debt is slavery. Debt is an anchor. You know, you get that mortgage, you're now indebted for 30 years. You take that car loan, you know, you've got it for maybe 3-4 years or whatever. Okay. Student loans, you have them forever. Even if you file bankruptcy, you can't get around them. You know, and those are some of the invisible chains that keeps you in those environments. You think you're just going to go in, get your capital and come out. No. And unfortunately, a lot of Africans find out the hard way that, you know, oh, this is how people get roped and trapped in the West, because they have all these invisible chains on them, you know, through debt, through credit, whatever. Big shout out to GBL in the room. Thank you, Sweet Berry. I see you there, sweetheart. Big shout out to the African Superstar family. If you're here and you want to be greeted, I am doing shout outs. What's up, Mr. John Kofi? I see you in the building. Yes. Big shout outs. GBL says the natural outdoors is a privilege in the West. You know, I recently went to Bermuda. I think I mentioned it briefly on the channel. I went to Bermuda to visit family and attend an annual cricket match called Cup Match. And it's like a big deal on the island. Everybody kind of turns out for this cricket match. And I mean, Bermuda is absolutely gorgeous. You know, I haven't been to Bermuda in over 10 years before this visit. And I mean, the water was just amazing blue, crystal clear. The sky was just, you know, again, clear blue, pristine. You know, it was just so beautiful. And my sister remarked to me, she's like, oh my gosh, you know, I can smell the difference in the air. Like, it just smells so fresh. You know, the food we were eating was amazing. It was so good. You could just taste like the richness in the food. And I thought, you know, you don't realize while you're in a certain environment, again, how things are impacting you. So much pollution. You know, in Bermuda, for instance, they have a lot of regulations because one of their biggest industries is tourism. And so the island needs to be beautiful. The beaches need to be beautiful. The water needs to be beautiful. Nobody's going to go there if it's not attractive, if it's not scenic. And so they have a rule in Bermuda that there can only be one car per household. This cuts down on traffic. This cuts down on pollution. You know, meanwhile, in our environments in the West, you know, there's so many cars, which leads to exhaust, which leads to pollution. We have big factories. We have people, you know, putting waste into the waterways and all this stuff. And we're in that environment ingesting that stuff. You know, I know some people, I've heard them say that when they lived abroad before they moved to Africa, for instance, they used to have allergies. I'm someone who used to have allergies, you know what I mean? Hay fever and all that stuff when I was in the UK, for instance. Moved to Ghana, all went away, you know, because there's less, you know, I'm not going to say Ghana is the most clean place, but obviously the air is more fresh, you know, there's less chemicals in, like no chemicals in the food compared to like the processed foods that we eat in the West. And these little things, it impacts, you know, the water is processed differently. There's a lot of chemicals in the water in the West. There's fluoride, you know, and things that have been tested to lead to health problems. You know what I mean? So you just don't realize when you're in that environment how it is impacting you, you know? So yes, being able to be outdoors and see nature and see the sea or whatever, warmer climates, definitely a privilege. Yes, big shout outs to the family. GBL says they cannot approach girls or the female sex, but they can handle as many men. George Floyd, Eric Garner, the lines emasculation. John Kofi says, right after the year of return, all of a sudden the world had a pandemic. And hello, Pete Gang, shout outs to my African travelers in the building. Shout outs to my African travelers in the building. Those of you guys that are coming, going, regularly frequenting the continent, you've also seen flight tickets to the continent double, triple. Double, triple. Used to be able to get a round trip from, you know, New York to Ghana or Nigeria for $600, $700. Now the tickets are, I mean, my ticket to Ohio was nearly $2,000. Economy. Hello. You know, just astronomical. It all is a deterrent. If they're trying to deter us from coming here, there's no other reason available. There's no other reason available. Because when you go to Europe, you know, you can take a plane ride from London to Germany for like 200 pounds. Okay. You can fly from London to Morocco, 100 pounds, 200 pounds, get a deal, go from London to Spain. But African travel double, triple. I remember, shout out to my girl Nunu, who lives in the UK, my sister in the UK. I remember the last time I went to visit her there last summertime, when I was looking for my plane ticket to leave Ghana and go to London. The ticket was it was showing me probably almost about maybe 350, 400 pounds from, Ghana to London. All right. She said, let me check it out from my side. Do you know that ticket was about 100 pounds cheaper? Same exact ticket, same exact flights, but the fact that she was booking it from the UK. So I sent her, I dashed her money through the account and she booked it on my behalf. So that means they're charging African travelers here on the continent more than other people for the same flights. And what's the justification of that? Okay. The flight from Accra to London should be the same price no matter where I'm coming from. Okay. If I'm going from Accra to London, if I book it in America or if I book it in Japan or London, it should be the same price, right? Why are you having different prices for the same exact flight occurring, in different markets? Okay, it's very obvious they don't want us to explore the continent. They've never promoted us to explore the continent. They have never shown us, any intriguing media or landmarks or sightseeing or anything to make us have a curiosity about the continent, although their people have been regularly coming here since been pimping. And that's always my rebuttal. My rebuttal to ignorant, stupid people that have comments about America, they only have problems when members of the diaspora are ready to come to Africa. Okay, because they don't have problems with the whites that come to Africa. Okay, they don't have problems with white South Africans. They don't have problems with all the Europeans that go to Kenya or all the ones that go to Gambia. Hello, sex tourism. It's all good for the whites to do whatever they want to do. But when we get in the game and we want to start traveling, then it's visas, then it's vaccines, then it's this, then it's that, then it's high plane tickets, and it's requirements, and it's all this red tape bureaucracy. I mean, there's no other legitimate reason except they don't want us to come here. For those of you guys, don't you wonder why they don't want you to come here? I mean, are you not curious what all the hype is about? Because they don't mind you going anywhere else in the world. They run advertisements to go to China, go to Austria, go to Switzerland. Some of you guys want to go to the whitest, non-diverse countries in the world. Y'all rather go there than come and to see what's happening over here on the continent. Come and learn, see what you have missed. And so for me, I'll always be an advocate, because for me, coming here has been such a game changer, such a positive aspect of my life, man, a hope restorer, because living out there under those pretenses had me feeling like, oh my God, this is about to be my life. There's nothing I can do. And I'm basically biding my time, because at any minute, they can fire me from my job. They can gun me down. They can do unjust stuff to me. They can lie, make allegations. I have no recourse. The system and society is going to be on their side, and that's just how it's going to be. So for me, my hope was restored, being able to live in a place where I'm safe, where I'm respected, where I'm able to, manifest my dreams and have freedom, the ultimate freedom. I have the most freedom in the world here in Ghana. Out of the places I've traveled, out of the places I've lived, I have the most freedom. I have the ability to be my most authentic self. Me being Gina in this form, it's not threatening here in Ghana. I'm not the angry Black woman here in Ghana. I'm not the stereotypical, you know what I'm saying? Those stereotypes don't apply to me here because I'm part of the majority. You know, I'm not seen to be a danger, menace to society, and all the other pretenses that wear on us. Big shout outs. Thank you so much for that super chat, Mr. John Kofi. He's the first super chat donor. Guys, y'all can, how about take some peer pressure from John Kofi and send some loving. Thank you, Mr. Kofi. I see you there, brother. Medase pa. Thank you so much. Yeah. So I'm going to keep on talking and promoting the continent. I know that obviously there's prevailing problems here. Yeah. I know, you know, for instance, one of my girlfriends called me the other day and was talking about the depreciation of the CD currently. Now, when I moved to Ghana back in 2020, you know, the conversion was roughly like one CD to about $6.50, $7. It was $1 to six, you know, I'd say about 6.5, 7 CDs. Currently, it's almost up to about $1 to about 16 CDs. So with that depreciation comes, you know, inflation. You know, goods are going to cost more, fuel's going to cost more. Basically, the cost of living goes up as a fluctuation in the currency. And, you know, I thought about it. I thought about it long and hard. And I said, you know, what am I going to do about that? What am I going to do about that? You know, I just can't be deterred, you know, by such things. You know, I have to figure out how to navigate them. I've chosen Ghana as my home, you know, and so I just got to figure out the way forward. You know, there's literally millions of people here that have to go through the ups and downs with the country and the politics and things like that. I mean, because at the end of the day, I don't want to go and be back in America. I don't want to be back in the UK. I don't. You know, I have no interest in being there. Actually spending the entire summer virtually in America, I mean, it just solidified why I don't want to be there, why the environment is harsh on me, you know, the impacts, what's required for me to be in those settings. And I'm like, no, you know what I'm saying? I got a decent lifestyle here in Ghana. It's chill. The weather's better, you know, it's safer. I mean, I got to notice today I had a meeting with my manager. Shout out to Mr. Cyril Stark. I had a manager meeting. And while I was sitting there with the meeting with him, this note, you know, this alert pops up on my phone that somebody got shot at the Burger King in Atlanta today. And I'm just like, you see, I don't want to live like that. I don't want to live like that, guys. And you guys shouldn't want to live like that. I mean, I know it's become normalized for Americans. It's literally become normalized. These shootings, random shootings, crazy, you know, unjust, whatever. It's become a norm there, but it's not normal. Hello, hear my voice. It's not normal, guys. You do not have to live with racism every day. You do not have to live in fear for your life. I know that person who went to Burger King, getting shot at Burger King was the last thing on her mind. Okay, she was probably thinking, let me go get this Whopper value meal, maybe a milkshake. And I hope they don't forget the napkins and ketchup. That was probably the extent of what she was thinking about when she went to the Burger King. Also, pro tip, for those of you guys live in America, don't go back and forth with these people. Do not go back and forth with these people out there in society. Okay, they could be saying crazy things. Then maybe they've insulted you. Maybe they're saying things that are outlandish and don't make sense. Hello, maybe they're being aggressive. Please, please, please try to control yourself, because some of these altercations simply stem from disagreements with strangers. And these strangers have weapons and they're literally using them for no reason at all. There's no reason somebody should get gunned down at the Burger King. Only reason I could say is if there was like an armed robbery going down and maybe a cashier at the register decided self-defense and shot the perpetrator. That's the only thing that I could maybe think about a shooting in that kind of setting. But I guarantee, I haven't looked at the details of the story, but I'm pretty sure that that shooting was trivial. And I really hope that the lady didn't lose her life, because it's such a shame to lose your life over something so trivial. You know, the reasons to not have all your eggs in one basket are long. All right. Let me tell you, the reasons to not have all your eggs in the Western basket are long. If you are a young person, you're in your early to mid 20s, please listen to your big auntie today when I tell you, please check out your options. Okay. Start considering diversifying that portfolio. Travel if you can. See the world. You might be surprised that you might find vibes that you like elsewhere, and you might find investment opportunities elsewhere that are not even afforded to you. I gave you guys this example, severally on this channel about you being able to get lands in Africa. Whereas trying to own anything in the West is just so difficult to pay off your car, so difficult to pay off your house, and just be to the point where you literally do not have money coming out constantly for your living expenses. You can achieve some of those things in other environments. Your currency will reach a bit further in certain places. Take advantage of that. We have a lot of disadvantages. Hello. We have a lot of disadvantages out here. The few things that are working in your back, behind you to help you, take advantage. Don't apologize for utilizing your advantages, whatever those are. All right. Big shout outs to the family. If you are here and want to be greeted, I am going through the chat room. What's up? Love to travel. I see you there. Big shout outs to you. Yes. John Kobe says Africa is the promised land, not Israel. Big shout outs. What's up? What's up? What's up? African Goddess says Africa can be great. Very happy with my return. However, we need to let people know you cannot land in Africa without resources and a good plan. It can be tough. Yes. Definitely. Definitely. Don't come here. Now, obviously, if you're watching me and you're just getting really, turned on and motivated to explore the world, strategy is necessary. Hello. The mission statement of this platform: strategy, maturity, and patience. Okay. Don't get out there on a limb or you will not have longevity. Hello. You will fail, and all your haters are going to laugh and have a good hearty time over you. All right. So please do strategize yourself, like what African Goddess is saying. Make sure you come here with some resources. Make sure you know a little bit about what you're getting into. Make sure you don't rashly jump into deals. You don't buy land from your Uber driver and all this stuff. You got to do your due diligence. You're not getting married to, the hot trainer that you met at your gym last week, stuff like that. Because a lot of scam goes on now. A lot of scams go on. The perception is Westerners have a lot of money. So when you come, there will be lots of opportunists that are trying to get to you. All right. So you definitely need to do as this is instructing, and you'll be okay. All right. You can make it. Big shout outs to the family. Love to travel says out of Accra, the air is better. I agree. Obviously Accra is the capital city. The traffic here is intense. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of population here. And I think obviously getting out of the cities, no matter where you are, you're going to deal with a lot less traffic, pressure, pollution, so on and so forth, So I would definitely agree with that statement as well. I've been actually wanting to get to the Volta region. I really want to go. So I need to do that. Maybe next year sometime I'll travel to Volta region. Yeah, I was actually on the phone with my girlfriend the other day, and she was telling me she was considering to come here and so on and so forth. And Oh, excuse me. Excuse me. Big shout outs. Thank you so much, GBL, for that super chat. I see you there. Thank you guys for those of you that have contributed. Yeah, the channel is remonetized. Y'all know we went through that long 6 months of no monetization. Yes. So I do appreciate those of you that have contributed. Like I said at the beginning of this broadcast, unfortunately, we didn't win our nomination in Amsterdam. You guys didn't vote for me. I know. A couple of you did. A couple of you did send funds for votes. We had a little under 2,000 votes, and the winner had about 5,000. So shout outs to Metropolitan Mission and GK, those of you guys that sent support in the super chats, those of you guys that actually went to the link and donate, not donated, but voted, sent votes in. But unfortunately, we did not win here in Amsterdam, so there won't be any 2024 awards. Hello, yes. That means, guys, when I call to action you, please action, because we missed out on an award. So the Ghana Music Awards Europe is going to take place on the 7th of September. If any of you guys in Amsterdam, it will be a lovely night of music and entertainment and all that stuff. I'm not going to be there, obviously, because I didn't win. So we will try again next year. I have a lot of amazing music that I want to bring out, including my most recent EP, Iconic. 9 amazing tracks, including a collab with my tour partner, Mr. Taye Huru, also amazing rapper Lippy from the UK, and an undiscovered talent called Mr. Kojo Eheneba. We made an amazing track called Boom Boom. He is just like an amazing, amazing talent here in Ghana. I found him on TikTok. And so, yes. But I'm going to do an upcoming segment about the song of the week. So I'll kind of go into the inspo behind my songs and, those kind of things. So you guys can learn a little bit more of the process of my writing, selecting beats, and some of these collabs. But anyway, if you're interested, head over to Bandcamp and you guys can listen to Iconic. You can purchase it, put it in your playlist, and so on and so forth. Love to Travel says, yes, flights are high. Miami to Ghana is $1,200 and up. I mean, the flights to Ghana are ridiculous right now. Like I said, I was talking to my girlfriend, and she was looking at a direct flight from JFK to Accra. The round trip was $3,000. I said, did you look out at JFK? And she was like, yes. And I was like, oh my God. And it, with transit, with the stop, it was about $1,600. And I was just like, wow, because again, I remember, normally going to those international airports, Chicago, DC, New York, Atlanta, you can get a direct flight. Used to be, you could get a good deal. But now that Ghana is really popular, and African travel is popular, the market is cornering that and say, okay, you guys want to go to Africa? We're going to charge you double, triple, quadruple to go there, and it can be a deterrent for some people because obviously, A, they might not have that money. B, if they're traveling with a family or kids, they got to buy 2, 3, 4 tickets. I mean, damn, that's like $10,000 if you want to bring your whole family, your kids, and it's crazy. So yeah, right now they don't want us to be here. Big shout outs to GBL. The beach belongs to our indigenous tribes. And we have our super chat donors, Mr. John Kofi and GBL. GBL says the West is a jail where you are allowed to drive through whilst they let you pick your own address. Yeah, it's this whole lie of inclusion. You feel like, yeah, I'm here. I'm living the American dream. You have the mortgage, you have the car note, you have the latest iPhone, you have nice clothes or whatever. You go to nice restaurants on your credit card, whatever. You feel like you have a good life. But at the end of the day, you're stuck paying for it long after the incident. And it starts taking a toll in other aspects of your life. And what I would really like to point out is while your time and your energy and your mind is engrossed in these various things, okay, you don't have the time or the energy to cultivate more for yourself. Okay, you don't have the ability to strategize the way forward, the way out, maybe. You know, you have no way of knowing what your interests are. I didn't know that I had a penchant for music. You know, I've been a music lover all these years, but you know, the time to sit down, work on music, rehearse, go to the studio, shoot music videos, go to the radio stations, participate in, you know, award schemes and all this stuff. There was no time for that stuff out there for me, which is why I probably never even entertained it, not to mention the expense involved. You know, being an independent musician here in Ghana, I'm able to manage and do a lot of things here that I know I wouldn't be able to do in the West, because the cost of music videos is through the roof. The cost of studios are through the roof. The cost of producers and photographers and makeup artists, I mean, it's astronomical. So, you know, when you are caught up in that routine, you can't really know yourself intimately. Some of you guys don't even get enough sleep. You don't get proper nourishment. You don't get exercise. Your sex life struggling. Your social life is struggling. You know, your mental health is struggling. The environment is saying to you, you know, it's pushing on you. There's so much pressure on you, and that's not normal. We grow up thinking it is because that's the environment we are. And we might not ever know that there are alternative options until we venture outside of those parameters and start to see that, oh, wow, you know, I can have some other lifestyle. I can do other things, or wow, I'm really good at this, or wow, I have an interest at that, you know? So big shout out to the African Superstar family. Anybody else? Hello. If anybody else has any comments, concerns, please don't put all your eggs in the Western basket. Please. Please. You know, get out there and see what other lifestyle is available to you. And again, African Goddess pointed out, strategy is needed. Okay, do not get out there on a whim and get emotional and just be like, oh my God, okay. I mean, obviously, we've seen here on YouTube, we've seen a lot of that. We've seen a lot of people, I bought a one-way ticket to Nigeria. I'm going to South Africa. I'm going to Ghana. And it hasn't worked out well for majority of the people that take that approach, because realistically, if you choose African nations as the place you want to land and you don't have a strategy behind you, then longevity is going to be very hard. You know, you need, you know, I mean, take it from me. Okay. I'm 4 years deep in the game. I did not come here on a whim. Okay. I didn't come here sex tourism. I didn't come here for a man. I didn't come here, you know, with a lot of the alternative motives that people are coming here for. And when those things don't work out, they are out, because they put all their eggs in a basket too. You know, they rolled the dice and said, okay, I'm going to put all my eggs on Ghana. No, you know, somebody once asked me the stupid question of, oh, would you renounce your citizenship, you know, to the US since you love Ghana so much? Hello, I'm an international world traveler, dummy. So let me get this straight. I'm going to go ahead and renounce my foreign citizenships. So anytime that I need to go visit family or conduct business or travel abroad, now I need to go for visas? Dummy. Hello. Hello. We don't have a lot of advantages as Black Americans. Hello. We don't. I mean, honestly, that we have a lot of setbacks that face us. But you know, maybe ease of travel is one of those advantages. So use it. Duh. You know, whatever is going to help you achieve your goals, guys, identify those things and utilize those things. Duh. Hello. And don't let dummies on the internet make you feel some type of way because you're utilizing your advantages. Hello. You know, because that's what I'm just like, what kind of super, you know, I don't know where people are coming from sometimes with the things that they say. Because obviously if they thought about things, then they should come to the very obvious answers and conclusions of those things that they're talking about. Because for an international traveler to give up their foreign passports, which gives them ease of travel, you know, visa-free travel, ability to live and work, and ability to have property or assets in such countries, why would you give that up? Why don't you just utilize everything that you have? Duh. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. I hope my message was well received, family. Again, big shout outs to my super chat donors, my moderators, everybody with the wrench. Yes, please, guys, always be on your task. You see hecklers, you see people being disrespectful in the chat room, you see people arguing and doing nonsense. Don't hesitate to deal with them, okay? Because this is a family-friendly space. All right. All right, family. Well, big shout outs to the African Superstar family. Yes. Oh, you guys are getting ready to celebrate Labor Day. I see. Okay. Well, I hope you guys, if you're going to have some barbecue fun or whatever you're going to do tomorrow, turn up. Well, I guess that means they'll observe it Monday, right? Because tomorrow's a Sunday. So they'll just move the observation to Monday. So you guys should have Monday off, I think. But yeah, they don't care, you know. Labor Day is an old holiday, so you know, maybe back in the days it probably had more meaning than it does now. Shoshana, what's up, sweetie? Thank you so much. I'm glad that this message was meaningful to you. Yeah, don't have your eggs in one basket. You know, don't have your eggs in one basket. It's, you know, if you guys know any rich people or you know of rich people, hello, correct me if I'm wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. Rich people usually have what? Lots of property. Okay. They have the what? Vacation home. They have the summer home. They have the winter home. Hello. They have the apartment on Park Avenue in New York. They have the condo in Miami. Options. Okay. Options is something that rich people know all about. Black people, unfortunately, we kind of have this struggle life, you know, hold on to everything for dear life mentality. We don't think about things and we don't plan proactively. Okay. If something goes down in the US, guys, hello, something goes down in the US, something goes down in the UK, and all your eggs are in that basket, you're going to be screwed. How nice would it be for you to say, ooh, this situation is getting kind of crazy over here in the UK. Let me just go to my house in Ghana for a few months and let things calm down. Hello? You know, you're over there in America, you're looking at you're looking at your retirement portfolio. You're like, oh my God, I can't retire till I'm 75 here in America. What if I just take this 50,000 now and go build a property in Ghana? Bam, I have a property that's paid for. I can retire to Ghana when I'm 60 like I want to because I already have a place to live. And my pension will cover the rest of my living. You know, you have to be creative because, guys, hello, I know this is a trade secret that you're not ready for, but they want you to always be a slave. They want you to always be working. If the US and the UK had it their way, you'll never retire. Okay, because when you retire, you become a burden to the system. Now they got to pay for your Social Security. They got to pay for your insurance. They got to pay for your pension, your retirement, blah, blah, blah. All right. It's better if you just work until you die and they never have to pay you out. And you've been paying in your entire working life. Yeah. So start thinking with a broader perspective. Okay, options are great. You know, I tell you what, when I flew out of the UK, I remember one year, it wasn't last year, it was the year before. And I was with Nunu. I miss Nunu. I need to go see Nunu. But I was at Nunu's place. Nunu's house is my residence when I go to the UK. So I was with Nunu, and I remember it got into November. I think it was maybe like the week before Thanksgiving. Okay, and I had like this little temporary job with Royal Mail. So I was working at Royal Mail, which is the postal service in the UK. And I had this little warehouse job, which I actually quite liked it because it was actually mail sorting. It was just really, easy, straightforward. And the warehouses in the UK are clean, guys. The warehouses in the UK are clean. I mean, the British people might not think so, but compared to like American warehouses, clean. Big shout outs, Aphrodisiacs, Villa and Spas. Hi guys, make sure you like the stream. I'm about to wrap up though, but yeah, I'm just finishing the story. So I remember this particular night. Okay, it got very cold that night because it was into November. It might have been like the second week of November. And one of the things that happens to me when I get cold is my nose gets cold and my feet get cold. And it's so hard to warm them up. Like even if I put socks or I pull the covers over my head, I mean, my nose would just be like pinging because it's so cold. So this night, it had dropped. That was the first like pre-winter drop of weather. That very next day, I booked my ticket to Ghana. I think to leave in within 2-3 days. And Noodle was like, "Oh, Gina, you should stay with us until Christmas time. You should stay and then you could work at the warehouse a couple more weeks." And I said, "Girl, I gotta go." And I tell you what, shout outs to my viewers. Anybody in here don't like the cold? Hello, anybody who doesn't like the cold. I know some of you black people claim, "Oh, I like the seasons, Gina. I like to see the trees change colors and I like the first snow." I'm not talking to y'all, but I'm talking to those of us that don't like the snow, don't like none of it, don't like the cold breeze in our face. If you're in the UK, the rain, the blowing into flipping your umbrella. Hello, you know what I'm talking about. Do you know that buying my ticket to Ghana and being out, it was a complete utter flex. It was a complete utter flex. People's like, "Oh, you should just stay, work a couple more." I was like, I don't give a damn. I was freezing last night and I don't want to be here for this. I don't want to be here for the winter time. Okay? Options. It's something our people don't consider. Okay? We suffer a lot and we endure a lot, and we're often the last people to know. We're the last people to get the memo. Don't be caught up like that. Having all your eggs in that basket is foolish. I'm sorry. It's foolish. It's a really nice thing to be able to like, you know what? I'm not dealing with this. I know them people in the UK, those people that don't have all their eggs in their basket, those Africans that have houses in Africa, that have businesses, that have cars, they say, "You know what? These protests in the UK, I'm going to Nigeria for a few months. I'll be back next year. I'll come back after Christmas time. I was going to leave in November, but hey, they're burning up shit. I'm leaving now." Huh? Those people that have already put the infrastructure somewhere else, they had an option to be like, "Ooh, yeah, I'm about to book a flight and get the hell up out of here." They're tearing up stuff. Stuff's getting crazy in the US as we approach the American election. Some people are in a position to say, "You know what? I'm just going to wait until after November, see what happens, and I'll come back, or whatever. Or maybe I'll just stay abroad for a little while and let it calm down." If you don't have no options, you got to be subject to whatever's going on wherever you are. Okay? Tensions rising in the US. Like I said, military tensions, they're always involved in stuff. Please think back with me to those Africans who were doing their studies in Ukraine. Okay? I know exactly how oblivious African migrants can be. Okay? A lot of times when they migrate to Western countries, they have no idea what's going on in their countries. Okay? They don't know about political issues. They don't know about military issues. They don't know about conflicts. They don't know about diddly squat. So I know them African students in Ukraine that had nothing to do, didn't even know what was going on with Russia. They got the shock of their life when shit hit the fan that day. When Russia invaded Ukraine, and then they started seeing all their Ukrainian, neighbors and whatnot being racist, wouldn't let them on the train. It was a wake-up call, guys. You cannot, it's unwise to have all your eggs in one basket in this 2024. Not when there's some options out there for you. Okay. And I know there's always some dummy that's like, yeah, Africa's not for everybody. Duh. This is not for you. It's not for everybody. It's for the people that is, matter of fact, let me just make it plain. It's for the ballers. It's for the ballers. It's for the people. It's for the innovative. It's for the ambitious. It's for the visionaries. It's for the make it happen kind of people. That's who this message is for. Hello. Because they're going to hear what I'm saying and they're going to be like, you know what, Gina, you're right. And I need to look into my options. I need to set up my evacuation plan. I need to have my plan B. I need to have dual citizenship or residency somewhere else. I need to have the ability to bounce if need be. Okay? Because those Africans that were stranded in Ukraine, probably them Africans that were stranded in Russia, I'm sure there's Africans in Israel, Africans in Gaza. They're all caught up in other people's affairs right now. There's some Ghanaian out there. There's some Nigerian. They don't got nothing to do with it. But because they're there, they have to deal with it. There were Africans in UK that's just going to work. Okay, just going to school, just living their life. And guess what? When the race riots popped off, they suddenly became, an enemy. They suddenly became victims in some cases because you are what you eat and you cannot sit in water and not get wet. All right. So it's very wise to, pay attention to what's going on around you. I don't know how you guys that don't have plan Bs and that are not actively working towards plan Bs, I don't know how you guys live in these environments with complete confidence. Because, hello, what about Sandra? What about Sandra got gunned down by the police on body cam just about a month ago? I was in the US at the time. She could have been any of us. You want to just be in them environments with no plan B? It's crazy. All right. I digress. I've been on my soapbox for a little while today. Yes. Guys, if you like this content, please make sure you subscribe to the channel. We're doing all right with subs. We're over 6,000. I did ask you guys on the community tab to get us over 6. So you guys did that for me. Thank you so much. Next milestone, 10K. Let's get back to what our original platform. We were at 11,000 before YouTube took us down. So, let's try to increase the platform numbers going forward. I'm going to try to build up some momentum. Yes. So, yes, John Kobe says plan B now. If you haven't been thinking about it, I hope that I, maybe woke you up or maybe, motivated you to consider it. But, yeah, you've got to have your plan B activated, available, situated, conceived, conceptualized. You need to have it, in action because what's happening in our world, I don't think it's really safe. I don't care where you live, to have all your eggs in that one basket. I don't think so. The people that were in China when that COVID stuff popped off, China was one of the first countries to stop their borders, shut their borders with no visas. I remember a friend of mine I met here, Nana, she was a doctoral student in China, okay? And she was abroad because she had to renew her visa when all the COVID stuff happened. And literally, she's not been able to, for years, get back to China to continue her education. Her education was completely disrupted by the COVID issue because they weren't issuing visas. They weren't allowing foreign students to come and all that stuff. So, all this stuff, you've got to consider it. You really, really do. And if you have kids, it's also great to expose them to their options. Some of you have little kids, young kids, and it's like, wow. How different would my life be if I would have known about African options growing up, in university and all that stuff? It would have changed my outlook on the world. But, I didn't get that per se. I did travel, but I wasn't coming to the continent, and I have very little actual information. So, you know, exposing your kids is also super beneficial. Okay, guys, I need to wrap up. Shoshana says, I saw a 10-year-old have a panic attack on a visit to America. Nobody's kids are dealing with this in Uganda. It's a crisis. I mean, in America, a lot of phenomenons are happening. You have, like, for kids, if we want to talk about kids, obviously the diet is terrible. All right. They have extreme bullying, you know, violence, a lot of sexual predatory kind of situations. I mean, social media out of control. You know, a lot of the kids here in Ghana, they don't spend their whole entire life on video games or their cell phones. You know, they're still going out and playing football, or, you know, hanging out in the neighborhood, or, you know, they're still being kids. And a lot of these things that our Western kids are experiencing is leading to a lot, you know, suicide. Our kids are going through a lot of stressful situations, like Shoshana is highlighting here. All right. African Goddess says, I really believe that people in the UK are not aware that we are only 3% of the population. Many people think we cannot be moved, but London, Birmingham, not a reflection of you. Absolutely. I mean, once you get outside of the major cities, you're going to see the far right. You're going to see the far right in all those townships and those villages and all of that. You're going to see the far right. And let me tell you, if they want to turn on us, I mean, I can only imagine how people that were there when that stuff was popping off, how they must have felt. You know, I put myself, as I often do when these situations happen, I put myself in the person's shoes. So obviously, as someone who, you know, is a citizen in the UK, has lived there, I thought about it like, okay, how would I feel if I was in Northampton when all this happened? You know, I'm a pedestrian in the UK. I walk to and from work. I used to get off work at 7:30. You know, in the winter months, it would be dark as I walked home. You know, I always felt safe. I never had any incidents. But I mean, this kind of stuff going on, I mean, who wants to be dealing with that? Who wants to be worried about, you know, these angry mobs? And, you know, I mean, who wants to deal with that? And you're minding your business. But, you know, obviously, if you're alone, you could be seen as vulnerable. You know, I mean, it's crazy. And I know a lot of African people, they're just really timid. They're really shy. They're not aggressive. They're not violent. So when they get confronted with this stuff, they really don't know how to respond. There was a video a few months ago of this little guy, this little boy being bullied by these white boys at his, you know, I think they were all going to school. And these white boys, and they were like telling the guy he should kiss their boots. And the boy did it because he was really scared. He didn't know what to do in that situation. You know, and they were videoing him, and the video went viral. It happened in the UK. And I mean, that's the response a lot of time. You're surrounded, you're outnumbered. You know, and these kind of racist, angry mobs in the UK, they have killed before Black people. You know, young Black men typically will be the major target for these things. So, I mean, we're sitting out there living in these countries, like thinking that it's all good. And I really don't know how people just feel so comfortable and do not entertain the Hunger Games reality that could potentially break out. What you gonna do? What you gonna do? How nice would it be to be, ooh, you know, the far right is scheduling more crazy riots on Friday. I'm just gonna go ahead and take this annual leave. I'm gonna take a leave from work. I'm gonna quit. I'm gonna move out. I'm gonna go home. How nice would that be? You know, but the reality is that, unfortunately, because of the premise of this video, a lot of people do not have a plan B. They have all their eggs in the Western basket. You know, so when stuff starts getting hostile, you know, shout outs to those of you guys that traveled illegally too. I got to talk about you guys, because immigration is a part of it too. If you don't have your papers sorted out, you know, if you came illegally or whatever, that's another issue. Because now you know, leaving might present you a challenge as well because you're not legally there. You might not have a passport or driver's license or, you know, whatever to get out. So please, guys, do not be caught slipping. Figure out your plan B, whatever that means, you know, and activate it. And like I said, for African migrants, entertain the concept that you don't want to have all your eggs in that basket. You should definitely, I would say to any foreigner, especially those of you guys with intentions of eventually coming home or retiring back home, you need to have something back home. Okay. And don't always just entrust your family and friends to manage it for you. Come put your eyes on your house project. Come put your eyes on your land. Come put your eyes on your farm. Hello. You know, come put your eyes on your husband or your wife or your kids. You know, don't be living in UK, Germany for 5, 10, 15 years. You never came home. You have no idea what's happening there. You're sending money. Oh, my cousin would never do it. Oh, my brother will never do it. Listen, limit the liabilities by being an integral part of your life and your future plans. All right. Sometimes that opportunity, people, it takes over good people sometimes. Sometimes people are totally good, but then, you know, the temptation of stupidity gets to them. You know, you're sending them, you know, maybe $2,000. That's more money than they've seen in a whole calendar year. And you're telling them, hey, you can keep, you know, 100 CDs, but I need you to go buy cement with the rest of the money. It's a big disaster waiting to happen. You're leaving your husband for 3, 10, 15 years. Hello, what's going on? Check on your house, man. What's up, ATM International? I see you there. Big shout out to the family. Yes. All right. All right. I'm really wrapping up now. So big shout outs to you guys. If you just got in, like ATM International, you can see the playback. I hope, again, this message was well received. I always come to try to, you know, inspire you guys to stay ahead of the game. You know, if you want to be anything like me, if you like the way I move, that's how I move. I look at these things and I'm like, okay, let me strategize the way forward. I don't ever want to get caught slipping. I don't want to fail. I don't want people having a laugh at my expense. Hell no. So we're going to figure out the way forward. Okay. All right, family. Until we meet again, stay black and true. If you ain't black, just stay true.